Welcome into OutKick the show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me as we roll through the, Wednesday? The Wednesday edition of the program. We got a lot to talk about. But I want to start off with a story that I think should be getting way more attention. And I'm going to read directly from it. This is on the front page of today's Wall Street Journal. And I think it's a blockbuster story. And actually, I think this story got lost in a lot of the attention that is out there relating to the Biden slipping. There's a story in the Wall Street Journal that says that Biden is slipping. Yeah, no figure. Yeah, we all know, no doubt. We see the videos itself. And a lot of people are talking about that. To me, this is the bigger story that is more worthy of discussion. And I'm reading directly from the Wall Street Journal. This was on the front page this morning of the print edition. Last summer, a small group gathered around the mahogany table in Attorney General Merrick Garland's conference room. The table can seat 20, but only a few were there that day, given the sensitivity of the meeting. Special counsel Robert Hur, sitting across from Garland, pulled papers out of a folder and read aloud. They were excerpts of a transcript of a recording his team had found of President Biden speaking to his ghostwriter in 2017, shortly after he was no longer vice president. Quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," Hur said, without inflection, repeating Biden's words according to people briefed on the meeting. As the group sat stunned at the prospect that the president knew he had classified information and was on tape discussing it with someone not authorized to receive it, Garland asked more questions. Did the ghostwriter have a lawyer? Is he being cooperative? What comes next? Let us know what else you need, Garland said. Hold on, because I want to go back to this. I just found all the classified stuff downstairs, Joe Biden said on tape. This is an undoubted, on audio tape, felony committed by Joe Biden with classified documents before he was president, with no ability to declassify those documents, with no ability to claim presidential privilege because the vice president doesn't have that ability. This is an open and shut case. Biden committed felonies with classified documents, and he admitted it on audio tape in the possession of the Department of Justice. How is this not a bigger story? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, Merrick Garland and the Biden Department of Justice let Joe Biden get away with felony classified document crimes while simultaneously trying to put Donald Trump in prison for the rest of his life for documents that were behind Secret Service protection and that he argues were presidential property and also declassified. What Biden did is far worse, and yet nothing is happening to him. Again, this is on the front page of the Wall Street Journal today. Why is there no demand for those tapes to be released? Why in the world would Joe Biden not be prosecuted for mishandling classified documents, bragging about it, and sharing it with someone that he was writing a book with? It's a no-brainer. It's a big deal. And I just want to bring it home because at a minimum, this should be sufficient evidence for the Trump team to share and say, there's no way that we can be prosecuted in South Florida for these classified documents crimes when you're letting Joe Biden off and you have him on audio tape admitting that he was in possession of classified documents, which, by the way, he had to steal in some way for those classified documents to end up in his possession. Now, what were they? Was Hunter Biden using it to make money off of his Ukraine connections, off of his China connections? And remember, these classified documents might well have been stored in boxes next to Joe Biden's Corvette. It's a huge story. I don't know how this is not leading Fox News. I don't know how this is not leading every radio show out there. To me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is a monstrously large story. So we'll see whether anybody else picks up on it, but I wanted to make sure that I talked about it with you. Now, much less serious news, the Hunter Biden trial is going on. And if you're wondering how that is going, this is from Mia Cathell, who is, let me make sure that I give her credit, an investigative reporter at townhall.com. She is right now sitting in the Hunter Biden trial, and I am reading from her tweet. Some fun moments so far during day 3 of the Hunter Biden gun trial. Witness number 2, whose social media handle is Weed Slut 420. Weed Slut 420 met Hunter Biden while she was performing a private session at a strip club. Hunter waved when she was asked to ID him in the courtroom. A picture of Hunter wearing a shirt with the Adidas logo turned into a marijuana leaf that says "Addicted" was blown up on the projector screen. I thought that was funny because he didn't smoke weed, she said. She testified Hunter tried an experimental indigenous drug treatment in which venom of a frog is administered on the skin to purge him. This is pretty crazy. There is a picture, evidently, of Hunter with this chick. So what's important here is not only that Hunter Biden is a crackhead, didn't pay taxes, was in possession of a gun, all of these things that are clearly true, should have registered as a foreign agent, made millions of dollars from China and Ukraine and American adversaries. All those things are true. But also, the Hunter Biden laptop has now been introduced officially as evidence in this trial, meaning the United States government now admits that the Hunter Biden laptop physically is 100% real. Another story that I think is emblematic of where we are in the modern era. The Washington Post lost $77 million last year. They have now hired new executives, Jeff Bezos has, to try to avoid losing $77 million. Vanity Fair had a meeting, had a report from inside of that meeting. And I'm reading from that Vanity Fair article. This is the new head of the Washington Post. He was asked whether he was intentionally bringing in people who came from a different culture than the Post. His response, this is a quote from Vanity Fair. "We are losing large amounts of money. Your audience has halved in recent years. People are not reading your stuff. I can't sugarcoat it anymore." So I've had, this is the new leader of the Washington Post, to take decisive, urgent action to set us on a different path, sourcing talent I have worked with that are the best of the best. Instead of saying, oh, wow, our business is losing $77 million. No one is reading our articles. Our audience is half what it used to be. We need to bust our asses and figure out a way to get this company back on successful ground. A reporter asked whether any women or people of color were interviewed and seriously considered for top positions. I mean, I can't believe that this is the response when they are informed that their audience has effectively collapsed. that this is the issue. Further in the Vanity Fair article, don't we need our brilliant, this is a question, don't we need our brilliant social journalist and service journalist as embedded in our core product to make sure people are actually reading the thing at the center of the mission of the Washington Post? One of the writers asked. The head of the Washington Post responded, "You haven't done it. I've listened to the platitudes. Honestly, it's just not happening." It's the most important thing, untapped audiences. If what I caused to happen is you all get it, great. The game's up. I'm setting up a structure where I'm not going to be guessing. Theory. At least half of the Washington Post reporters could be fired on the spot, and the overall quality of performance would not change at all. And the overall readership would not change at all. I bet that's true. I bet you could fire half of the people, cut millions and millions of dollars in expenses, and I bet you wouldn't see a change at all in the audience. By the way, one of the things that you're learning is that a lot of these media companies have audiences that are not actually loyal. They just got the rigged game going with Google, and they got the rigged game going with Facebook, and they were getting massive amounts of referral traffic. And now Google's going to AI. It's still the truth, kind of behind the curtain. If you get on the front page of a story, a lot of people will click. And sometimes it's not even a real story. For instance, I bet one of the top stories in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution today is what time do the Braves play? They are playing right now, I believe, against the Boston Red Sox. I bet that's one of the most read articles. I'll sometimes go into the Tennessean. They'll post their most read articles. The most read articles at the Nashville Tennessean, where I'm from, is what time is the Tennessee baseball game on? I'm not even kidding. Like, you go into the data on what is the most read at many of these journalistic enterprises, and nobody's actually reading the serious work that's being done. It's just what time are games on, which is entirely a function of where are what games are going on. It's pretty crazy. So the Washington Post in trouble. This comes on the heels of a good article that's up about the collapse of Vice. BuzzFeed is on the ropes. Vivek Ramaswamy has got a plan to potentially make a difference there. All of these woke media companies are taking body blows and starting to collapse. All right, college football playoff news. The games, the schedule, I should say, of the games is now out. And I want you to all kind of keep in mind what's going on here. 12-team college football playoff. I tweeted this out. First game is going to happen on Friday, December 20th. So go ahead and start making your excuses now, because there's going to be a lot of games around Christmas. Saturday, December 21st, and there are 3 games on. So the first round of the playoffs starts on a Friday night, and then you have 3 games on that Saturday, noon, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. That's going to be one hell of an awesome Saturday. Games, by the way, on TNT, 2 of them on that opening round Saturday, 2 on ESPN. Then you get to the quarterfinals, and I just want to remind you, the quarterfinals are not played on campus. First round is on campus. So 4 different places, Friday, Saturday, and a triple header on Saturday. Those will be campus games. The higher seeded team will get to host. Then you go into the quarterfinals. These games are going to be played on New Year's Eve. Yes, there is a game kicking off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A lot of you are going to have a conflict there. And then you've got a triple header on Wednesday, January 1st, which is pretty cool. Those games are taking place at the Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. All right? So first games, then about a 10-day break, and then you've got the quarterfinals. And then on a Thursday and a Friday, you have the semifinals, January 9th and January 10th. One of them at the Orange Bowl, the other one at the Cotton Bowl. And then the national championship is going to be played 2025 in Atlanta. That game will take place all the way out January 20th. So they are extending the college football season pretty substantially. But I just want you to think about this. I haven't heard a lot of people discussing it. You're going to have to be pretty rich to go to these games. Think about this. You could have a game going on December 21st that you have to go to. Could be a road game, could be a home team for your team. Then you would have to go to Phoenix, Atlanta, LA, or New Orleans on New Year's Eve and or the 1st. Then you would have to go to Miami or Dallas for a game 8 days later. And then you would have to go to Atlanta for another game. So in the space of 1 month, if your team makes this 12-team college football playoff, you would have to go probably to 4 different cities in the space of a month in order to watch them play. That's a lot, potentially. That's a lot. And it's going to be super expensive, and the tickets are already going to be high priced. You're going to have a lot of hotels, flights, everything else. I just think that's kind of significant, and I'm not hearing a lot of people talking about it. Okay, other part of this. I asked you who will be an unexpected team to make the college football playoff. I think Tennessee's going to make it. My Tennessee Vols are going to make it. And you guys have a ton of different suggestions. Mizzou in the comments, Southern Cal. I asked for all the best recommendations. Who's going to be the sleeper? The sleeper will be most of the fans with these late kicks on nights we have to go to work the next day. That's not a bad line. Nebraska, if I didn't mention it. Ole Miss, Oklahoma State. A lot of interesting suggestions here. Oregon. Anyway, a lot of good suggestions, but that is out. You can go check out the schedule for the college football playoff. Speaking of the college football playoff, yesterday I was discussing my heroic trip from LA to Atlanta for the 2014 SEC championship game. Some are calling this the bravest and most extraordinary performance by a college football reporter in the history of college football. Now, I wouldn't go that far. Certainly on the Mount Rushmore of bravest, most extraordinary performances by a college football reporter of all time. I wouldn't say it's the best, just one of the 4 best, humbly. I was sick. I was near death 10 years ago. I got on an airplane, Delta, sat in the very center, coach, thought I was going to die, maybe going to poop my pants, maybe both, a bad combination if there ever has been one. Death with poop pants on a coach flight from LA to Atlanta would not be ideal while surrounded by the U.S. women's soccer team. There's one girl that's really cute. I'm going to put Adam on the spot. 2015 U.S. women's soccer team, not Alex Morgan, who did the SI swimsuit issue. There was another girl who was really cute that was sitting near me, and I was thinking, I don't want to poop my pants because she'll know, and she'll never respect me. She doesn't even know I exist now, but I was worried about what she would think even a decade ago. See if you can figure out assignment. I think I would recognize her name. I don't remember her name. Brunette, again, not Alex Morgan. So don't text me Alex Morgan. We know she's really good looking. Another girl sitting close to me that I was afraid I might sicken. Potentially she would see me die. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I didn't want to let her down, even though she doesn't know who I am and doesn't know I exist, but she was cute. I fly to Atlanta, immediately cover myself with a blanket, sleep for 12 hours, manage to overcome death. Like Lazarus, I have risen. I'm on the field the next day. I'm interviewing Alabama star running back Derrick Henry. Someone snapped this photo of me with Fox Sports conducting this interview. Can we put it up? And this is the greatest photo that's ever been taken of anyone's hair in the history of the SEC championship game. Maybe in the history of college football itself. Do you see this? I don't know if it's up or not. All natural, no product, coming off of a near-death experience, coach flight, nobody to press the suit, nobody to style or comb the hair, no makeup person. This is the greatest photo of my hair that has ever been taken, and it is probably the greatest photo of anyone's hair that's ever been taken in the history of reporting associated with college football. And you combine that with my near-death experience surviving. Did anybody figure out who the girl was? Am I going to have to look this up myself? Nobody can figure out who the attractive brunette girl was that was on my flight that I was trying to make sure I didn't poop my pants in front of, sitting coach. She has no idea I exist. Okay, there you got it. Credit to Adam, Kristen Press. It was Kristen Press sitting near me. She had no idea. She had no idea I was near death or that I might poop my pants and die. The next day, boom, look at that performance. Look at that hair. It's exquisite. I'll finish today because how, honestly, can we top anything like that story with that hair? I'm going to go off tomorrow on Comcast and Bally's. I'm really fired up about this. And probably a bunch of other things. But in the meantime, just know, kids, if you work hard, you don't poop yourself on an airplane flight, one day you too can be standing on the sideline, walk onto the field, and your hair maybe, possibly, probably not, but you can dream, could be as majestic as my hair was on the 2014 SEC championship game between Alabama and Missouri. You can see Derrick Henry's face. Even he is like, I don't know who this dude is, but his hair is exquisite. And Derrick Henry had pretty good hair, but he's looking, you can see it on his face. You can see him looking at me like, this dude has salon quality hair. I don't know what product he uses. This is what Derrick Henry was thinking, I can tell you. But I should be getting every white person I know to use the same hair because this guy's hair doesn't come around very often. All natural, no product, no blow drying. One of the greatest all-natural hair performances in the history of sports media. I love all of you. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. I am Clay Travis, and this has been OutKick, the show.